Welcome to Tracy's Terrors. If you love horror and appreciate smart animal commentary, then you are in the right place. Today, Strigoi, VamPullet, and I will be discussing Seth Hogan's horror noir film, The Devil's Business. It's not a new film, came out in 2011, but it's a low-budget indie production, and there's a really good chance that you missed it. If you did, stick with us, we'll tell you a little bit more about it. Please subscribe to the channel and visit the website, tracysterrors.com. Also, if you have any horror noir recommendations, drop them in the comments. This film whet my appetite for more, and I'm not quite sure where to turn from here. So please, thank you. Let's get started. Early in Hogan's film, The Devil's Business, newbie hitman Cully urges his hardened mentor, Mr. Pinner, who's amazing, to tell him about the craziest thing he's ever encountered on the job, to tell him a story. Cully's vibrating with nerves and trying to kill time because the two men are sitting in the home of their target, Mr. Kist, waiting for him to return from the opera. And in Kist's dark, creepy house, marked by a makeshift satanic altar on the dining room table, they could both use a little bit of distraction. So Mr. Pinner, our main character, obliges, telling the tale of Valentina, a stripper he eliminated at the behest of their boss. Soon after dumping her body in the Thames, he heard from Eddie, her former lover and manager, that her ghost was back at the strip club, spooking other dancers and taking the stage after hours. This strange story, its content as well as the way that Pinner presents it, captures everything that makes Hogan's film such a success. First off, the scene could be straight out of a stage production. Starkly lit from the side with its face cast in shadow and staring fixedly into the distance as if he could see the past emblazoned there. Pinner delivers his monologue with the kind of theatrical intensity that defines the film as a whole. Indeed, The Devil's Business feels like a minimalist play performed in a black box theater, stripped down and earnest in a way that we don't often see in the genre. There are never more than two actors on screen at a time, and all of the unities are observed, with the horror unfolding over the course of one night at a single location. In other films, such economy might feel cheap, a necessary evil in order to get a movie made on a tight budget. Here, on the other hand, the compactness is integral to the success of the story, creating a claustrophobic atmosphere that's a perfect counterpoint to the enormity of the film's revelations. Skillfully balancing oppositions, Hogan uses small spaces and restrained conversation to disclose big truths about the unseen world and its kingpin, the devil. The Valentina monologue hints at cosmic forces that Pinner immediately disavows, setting up the film's major conflict. A staunch rationalist, he insists that the haunting can't be real, yet he handles the anecdote as he would a loaded gun, with great care and seriousness. There are personal reasons for this, which are revealed later in the film, but his solemnity also seems tied to the story's underlying threat. If it were true that the dead left a spiritual trace, then it would blow a hole in the materialistic worldview on which his entire career is built. For Pinner, a hitman is a hammer that crushes without thought or feeling, a dumb instrument wielded by others whose calculations are wholly of this world. As he repeatedly tells the morally conflicted Cully, perhaps too much, it does get a little bit tedious. In their line of work, there is no right and wrong, just bodies acting on other bodies with neither guilt nor sentiment. And it's this mechanistic view of murder that allows him to sleep at night. And it's precisely this self-protective fiction that a ghost could destabilize. A messy spiritual residue lingering after a clear-cut kill would upset all of his assumptions and render his position, really untenable. If he treats Valentina's tale like a metaphorical loaded gun, it's definitely Chekhov's. Once it's introduced, we know that eventually it will go off, and go off it does. In Kist's house, Pinner encounters phenomena that he cannot explain, and his dogged insistence on reason in the face of the irrational creates a compelling piece of existential drama. So far, I've made The Devil's Business sound about as fun as a performance of, no exit. But it's not as serious as all that. A bumbling idiot with a ludicrously large gun, Cully provides well-paced comic relief. And Pinner's idiosyncratic sartorial choices, in particular his Mickey Mouse gloves and supersized starched collar, made me laugh. What really breaks the film out of the theatrical black box, though, is its plunge into spectacular gore and its surreal, almost Lynchian use of a little person. I won't give too much away, but suffice it to say that special effects artist Dan Martin leaves nothing to the imagination in the best possible way. Coming in at just under 70 minutes, The Devil's Business is a lean, mean terror machine and well worth your time. If you missed it back in 2011, you can catch it now on Shudder and probably a variety of other streaming services. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you like the episode, please subscribe to the channel. Visit our website, tracysterrors.com. Leave some horror noir recommendations in the comments, and we will see you next time. Thanks.